This is the real me. This all I got. This all I got. I can't go back, no. I can't hold back. This is the real me. This all I got. This all I got. I can't go back, no. I can't hold back. What does it mean when they say a black man can't be saved? I'm tired of making minimum wage. I'm trying to make the top dollar, but they got us trapped in leash and collar. Like a dog, they trying to count my funds. I get fed up with life and all these crazy decisions.
Welcome to the Good Vibes Only podcast with the great vibes on anywhere. So sit back and wind and take a mind for a little bit of time and enjoy. Don't cringe. Don't look at me like that. I see you. I see your freaking face. Today's episode is particularly extra cringy and extra aggravating because I have my little brother over here, Dedric Williams over here. So today's episode is gonna be called Good Friendship because even though he's not an actual brother, he's an actual brother. He's my actual brother. So that's how we go. His aggravating ass is stuck. So I always like to in my podcast introduce people, but I like people like to introduce themselves because maybe I, missed something, or maybe I didn't bring something up, or maybe I like disrespected your whole lineage by not bringing up a certain thing. So I'm gonna turn it over to you and let you introduce yourself.
So my name is Dedric. I've known Zavon for what 5, 6 years now.
Hmm.
So we've gotten really close over time, and we definitely consider each other brothers. He's more like my big little brother, because I'm bigger, but he is older, so I'll take it, I guess. Um,
I'm getting there.
I've done learned many things in my own journey, constantly growing, improving, working on self improvement, just overall growth. And I reflect on a lot of things, including friendship. So I've actually been thinking about this topic a lot recently. So let's see what kind of insights I can bring to this conversation.
So, before we get on with this, with the topic, I would be remiss, probably using that word wrong, but I've always wanted to use that word in content, so I'm using it right now. Remiss. If I did not, I am using it right. I would be remiss if I did not mention the fact when he talks about self progression or you know, trying to go further in yourself. I just want to let y'all know he probably ain't let me do it, but he was like 450 plus when I met him. He's 280. He's
Yeah.
200. That's over half. I just want you to know that's over. He's lost over half the weight he was when I met him. So, um, that's something that we cannot pass by, and something I've always wanted to ask, but I was like, I don't never want to, intrude on somebody, or maybe you haven't really found that answer. But what has kept you like? Because it's been a while where you've been on this journey of like losing weight and also like getting back to yourself and all this other stuff. What have Because I've been there the entire time as your friend, so I just want to know what has kept you on this journey.
Honestly, I guess it's been a lot of things, right? Um, the people around me, who I choose to keep in my circle, those people around me supporting me, growing alongside with me. Um, I'm not a super social person,
Hmm.
so I don't really get diverted by a lot of people, let's say. Where some people will get sucked into the illusion that, I have to be this or I have to be that. I have to follow this influence. I want to look like this person, look like this person. Um, I don't compare myself to those type of people.
Yeah.
I look at it as, where was I a year ago? Where was I 2, 3, 4 years ago? Or 5 years ago when I was 500 plus pounds. So I'm always looking at it as far as how I can improve personally. and then seeing myself make those progressions steadily. It has been a slow, long journey, but you know, quick results get you quick losses. So I just
Yeah.
prefer to take that slow and steady. So I just look at it as, how have I improved? What more can I improve on? How much further can I go? And that kind of drives me forward. There's times where I do kind of fall back out of routine a little bit, but that's normal. I would say, like, even as far as dieting, right? It's hard to keep your diet in check for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A few weeks, let alone years, right? So it's like implementing those slow, steady changes, and over time that becoming a lifestyle and not just a diet. A diet plan, because diet plans are temporary. So taking all those things into account, um, it's allowed me to slowly but steadily make this into my lifestyle. And that's what drives me forward and makes me be like, how much further can I take it? How much further can I improve on my physical body, but also my mentality, because it translates into that as well.
So to speak on like the mentality thing, because I do like the whole mentality of like this is a whole lifestyle and all this other stuff, right? So we're gonna get right into it. So to speak on the mentality type part, right? So there's like a few people that I know that will, um how do I say, have ran with my bullshit. if that makes if that makes sense. So I don't know if anybody knows, but off like me personally, like I think I might be like one of the like I'm real, but I'm like I think I might be a little hard to like deal with at times. But
Mm,
me is me, right? Me is me, and so I can't be anything
yeah.
other than me. I can't be anything other than me. And he's been one of the people that are like, all right, you might be an asshole, but huh?
He's
At,
my asshole, you know?
at least he real. At least he real. Like at
Yeah.
least at least he real. So I wanted to know like for like people for like I guess an attitude like that as such as I've had or like a thought process or like the way that I talk to people or the way I talk to you or something like that. Like what has kept you like within that within that friendship or like two of you like all right cool he might be like hella like this way, but at least he's real. Like, what is that mentality? What is that mentality there?
So honestly, for me, so this is the thing. So a lot of things come and go, in
Yeah,
and out your life. A lot of people are seasonal. I'm a chef, so I can relate to the fact that many ingredients are seasonal, and they all contribute to the overall dish.
yeah,
So I surround myself with the right ingredients or people, and those people contribute to the greater whole of myself. They help me become more of myself or who I want to be. And you being so real, you being upfront, you telling me things that I need to hear, even when I don't want to hear them. Because at the end of the day, that's what friends are supposed to do, right?
yeah,
That's what separates acquaintances from real friends, is those people being able to tell you when you're wrong, to correct you when you need correction. And, you know, you having a mutual respect for those people, you should be able to take that criticism and use it to your improvement. So I really value when you can be real with me and tell me, when I'm on my bullshit, and keep me in check in a sense.
yeah,
Because I mean, I do a lot of self correction. I'm very hard on myself. Like I said, I'm always improving and working on,
yeah,
self development. So I do a lot of that on my own anyway. But it is really who I surround myself with is really who has allowed me to mold me, and them help mold me into the person I am today. So you've really contributed to that.
so I always like to get. First of all, thank you. So, but second of all, it's like I always like to contribute like that. You know, the whole friendship vibe is like acceptance, right? So there's like not many people who like there's not many people who like take my personality and go, all right, what you want? What you want, nigga? What you want? What you want, nigga? Or like, all right, cool. I understand you. I need you to do that because, like, whether you know it or not, whether you know it or not, like, there's this whole dynamic where it's like motivation. It's like anything I've done, like I've
Mm,
kept going or I've tried to do like entertainment or something like that. I'll go like, all right, this motherfucker's still working out. Fuck. All right. He's still working out.
yeah.
All right. I can write this. I could do something. I could do something today towards my dream. I could do something towards like what I want to do. All right. This man's still working out. All right. Cool. All right. All right. Everybody else around me might be being fake. All right. He just being himself. He just being real. He just being honest. And I'm also a person like you. Like I'm not a person that I will legit go out my way to like talk to somebody or like say hi to somebody because I don't even do that. I just want y'all to know I don't talk to my own brothers the way as much as I talk to. I don't talk to my own.
Yeah.
I don't talk to my own family as much as I talk
It's
to
like
them.
that sometimes.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a dynamic where um sometimes people that ain't family are more like family than your real family, and so it's like a situation of like, all right, cool. He might learn something from me, or he might come to me because he know it's real. He know it's like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna get those generic answers. I'm not gonna get this generic, it's gonna be okay answer. I'm not gonna get that generic ass answer and I come to him. I come to him because cool. I could just be myself with this. I could just be myself with this man. I could be free, and I ain't gonna get no judgment. I might get roasted, but I ain't gonna get no judgment. I ain't gonna get no judgment. So it's like a good dynamic. And I want to know what your thought process is on like uh, how could the dynamic between a friendship what be impactful to the set friendships? How do you think that the dynamic between a friendship could like affect a friendship in a good or bad way?
As far as like, how should from my perspective, how do I believe the dynamic of a friendship should be?
Or like how do you think the dynamic between the friendships could affect the friendship? Like all right, cool. If the dynamic between a friendship is good, like all right, cool. This person is like, because maybe two people they don't really do much for each other, like, but they're still friends. Like the dynamic is horrible. It's like toxic. It's like toxic as crap. But somehow they hear they toxic to each other as friends, but they still here, or like the dynamic is really good, so that like really helpful. Like what do you see within those dynamics?
So it depends, right? It
Hmm.
depends because there are such thing as, healthy friendships and healthy bonds or whatever, and unhealthy, for sure. I think that what separates the two is a couple of things, right? It's for one, your understanding of that person you consider your friend.
Yeah.
How do they go through their day-to-day life? What type of lifestyle do they live? What other type of people do they hang around, right? And then taking that into account because all those things make up that person, like I stated before. And so how do your choices directly impact your life? And how it's kind of hard to put into words.
So
It's like
I think
it's
it's
like
go ahead.
I think it's like how do your choices directly impact your life, and how do you use that in order to support your friend, right?
Yeah.
Some friends, they just go out and they just hang out and they have a good time, and some people are just there for when you're going through whatever in life and they're there for support. And some people are there for both, or they just want to check up on you. I know I have a lot of friends that I don't really talk to often, and some people are closer than others, and some people I can just have a good time with, but some people are just there for support.
Mm-hmm.
You, Zavon, are a person I can do, both with. I can talk on the phone with you and have a good time, but we're also there for each other when we're going through something. And
Yeah.
so, from my perspective, that's what separates acquaintances, friends, and best friends.
Yeah.
You're definitely like one of my best friends. I mean, we are like brothers at this point. Um, so I think that although you can be an asshole,
Mm-hmm.
although you can be brutally honest, although you at times you be like, listen, I'm listening.
Uh-huh.
But stop talking about this motherfucker. I really don't give a shit no more. You just pissing me off. Like I don't even know why you still talking about this person or talking. Like stop venting about this situation. You know what I
I
mean?
know the conversation. I know the
Because, but
conversation.
but that's what I need to hear because from your perspective, the situation is not healthy for me anymore. So you being so close to me, you understanding how I am, you being who you are, you telling me straight up, like, I understand what you're going through. I know you're going through whatever you're going through, but you like this has to end, and you need to figure it out.
um as a like when you think of like when you think of like the friendship dynamic or the real friendship dynamic or something like that, I think it's really good. And I've always like wanted that, like, all right, cool, all right, we can just talk and like be like here, because we ain't got it ain't gotta feel like an insult, it ain't gotta feel like I'm like, I just don't give a fuck, because obviously I care, I'm here. obviously
Mhm.
I obviously I
Right.
care, obviously I care, I hear. And so, like, I feel like, to elaborate on what I feel like what he's talking about, it's like, so there's a situation, and I'm not going to talk about the situation, but when there's a situation where he came to me and he kept coming to me about the same thing over and over and over and over again. And so, in my mind, all right, cool, we can talk about
Maybe like
this.
2 or 3 times. It wasn't that many times.
I'm gonna exaggerate the fuck out of it. I don't care. It's 5 times. Over, No,
Oh my goodness.
no, no. It was like 2 or 3 times though. But no, he came. But he came back. He came back to me, and it was like we talked about it. We got this situation. I'm a person that, like, all right, cool. I could talk to you about a situation, but I'm not going like. I've always been that person. I don't believe in like holding somebody's hand. I don't believe in like, all right, cool. We here. I believe like, all right, okay, here's the knowledge. Here's what you want. Here's what you need to hear, not as opposed to what you want to hear. And then you do whatever you want to do, whatever you do with it. If I'm wrong in certain aspects, that's up to you to figure out where you're wrong. He's been very good at picking out where I'm wrong in the situations, or when I'm right, because like he'll listen to a lot. Sometimes he'll listen to a lot of what I'm saying. Sometimes he'll listen to a part of what I'm saying, which is not an issue, because like interpretation is an interpretation, right? That's what it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
And so that's what I feel like that's what I feel like in my aspect, that's what I feel like real friendship is. It's like, all right, cool, we're coming back. It's not like, it's not like, hey, what should I do? All right, look, man, it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be okay. Nah, man, if you keep talking about this, it's gonna break you more to keep bringing it up than you to just, actually take the steps to move the fuck on, or move forward and think about like what you're actually doing in life, because the situation is not stopping you. And I always like to like look at that situation, like help my people. Like, I don't ever want to see I want my people to be on the same, like, as on the same mental state, or uh at least on the same or further or better mental state, because I don't want to be I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little shallow when it comes to my friends. I don't want no, I don't want no down ass motherfucker that that's always down. That's always stuck in the same place. Or stagnant people. He has never been stagnant. So it's like, all right, cool. That's like a good. That's like a really good. That's like a really good dynamic because like what his goals and his thing is like really good. So like what I want to. So what I want to know is like whenever you like look at what you think so before we get out of here, I want to know what you define as, uh, not just like what you said about myself. I just said in general, what do you define as a good friend or a best friend or anything in that aspect?
So to kind of piggyback off of what you just mentioned, as far as me not being stagnant, being able to move on with different things in life. Um, I think that it's important for you to choose your friends wisely. I'll say that first,
Yeah.
and for you to realize who's actually a friend and who's just there for the time being. Right?
Hmm.
Define your friends well, and I guess I hope you do that. So for one, people people will I feel like people who are always in your face,
Hmm.
usually they aren't your friends. Because they're just like they're trying to compete with you secretly. They're trying to see what you're up to, how can I better you, it's like secret competition. And it's like, dude, we're two different people. We have two different lives. Like you don't have
Yeah.
to do that, right? It's okay if it's like I'm moving up in my life, right? And you're moving up in your life, and we're moving towards similar directions, right? But you don't have to know every detail about what I'm doing, and always come to me for support and advice in order
Yeah.
to progress. Like, be your own person and make your own decisions. When you're stuck, then you come to your friend to be like, yo, like I really can't figure this out. Like I need some advice. How can I move forward with this? How can I step out of how do you think I can step out of the zone, in order to progress myself? And so it's honestly there's a lot of friends and a lot of people may not agree with this, but there's a lot of people who or friends, shall I say, who, you don't even talk to for a month,
Hmm.
3 months, 6 months. And then, sometimes you play catch up for a little bit, right? But you can feel when the tension's off, and you should listen to your gut feeling when you feel like it's off, right? So, I mean, I guess this answers turn more into what you don't want instead of what you do want. But I mean, there's friendship is such a broad umbrella type of thing, right? And there's so many different types of friendships. There's so many different ways you can take it. There's so many, everyone's in their different stages of life. Everyone goes about their lives differently. So I really can't tell you what to look for as far as friendship, but I can tell you what to watch out for, right?
Yeah.
And so, because everyone's so different, so it's just like keep in mind that sometimes your friends are just going through hard times. Sometimes they just need to you just need to be like, look, I don't know what you're going through right now, but this isn't cool. Like, and tell them why and be upfront, be real with them. Don't sound like an asshole just because they're being an asshole, right? Be better than that. Be the person that you think they need, not just the person that's, good for the moment or just because
Yeah.
like I got a headache today. I don't feel like talking about this. Can we because it's like, or else why's the point? Why even answer the phone, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're gonna be there for someone emotionally, right? Be there for them, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the capacity to deal with that sort of thing in the moment, be like, okay, listen, I know you going through something right now, but I've had a really long day, had a really bad day. I'm going through something too. I may not be the best person to give you advice right now, you know. I can tell you this, or let me hit you up tomorrow, and we can talk about it, or let me hit you up. I'll hit you back up. I'll text you. Because then you're being selfish, you're being narcissistic, and that's those just aren't good. Friendship quality. You know, some of those things are embedded in personality, so it's a little bit harder to see. Some a little bit easier to see,
Yeah,
but it's just like I said, like you can't really define friendship per se. It's just what to what to avoid,
yeah.
right? So yeah,
So in all the podcasts I like to do, I like to end off the podcast by having the guests, tell give the audience a good, you know, basically a word, something they want to say to the audience, or like some type of inspiration. I think you just basically just did that. But is there anything you want to add? Is there anything you want to say to the people, or like anybody advice that you want to give people?
something that I recently discovered in my own life, as well as when I talk to people and I hear about what's going on in their lives. Something that comes up time and time again is balance.
Yeah.
Finding finding balance between your work life and your home life,
Hmm.
your relationships and yourself, or relationship, whether girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and your personal time, your family and your friends. Finding that balance between all these things, going out and staying at home if you're that type of person. Because I'm not really the type of person to go out, but I do crave social interaction. It's something that, but I just prefer to be by myself alone a lot of the time. I'll go 3 months and realize, wow, I haven't been out in a while, huh?
Man, I gotta get out.
Right. So find balance and, realize even when it comes to friendships, balance is important. Sometimes you can't be around a certain person for too long, and that's okay. Sometimes, just because you can't hang out with them every day or hit them up all the time or text them every week, that's okay. You know,
Exactly.
like you don't have to, like I said before, you don't have to be in that person's face 24/7 to be considered them a friend. You don't have to talk to that person every week to consider them a friend. You don't have to talk to them every month, right? It comes in waves. I think about this person and I hit them up. Or I'd be like, I wonder what they think about this topic. I'm just scrolling YouTube or Facebook or something. I'm just like I think this could help them in their life. So I send them inspirational video.
Yeah.
That's what friendship is about. This person has been going through this. I see this. Maybe this video can help them. You know, I haven't talked to them in a while. You just send them a random text. Be like, hey, bro, I hope you're doing good. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
definitely.
like small things like that that really add up. And that, when I was reading this book called, I think it was called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. They talked about making positive deposits into the emotional bank account. You have to do that with friendships, with any relationships or bonds you have. Is you have to make um, those deposits to keep that account positive. Because when you just come to that person for problems, now they feel like they're your therapist. That's not fair to them. That's not fair to you either,
Yeah.
because now you can't make your own decisions and figure out how to solve things on your own.
Yeah.
So once again, I come back to finding balance. So, you know, take what applies and leave what doesn't.
Exactly. So I think that's actually something that everybody can actually learn and actually pay attention to. All right, it's something that everybody can actually pay attention to. Balance is important. So with that being said, I want to thank my guests for coming on. I want to thank everybody for watching. And until next time, much love, peace, and soul food, baby. Bye.